We're back. We're talking today about the Native American peoples, and their struggles and the commonalities of faith and action. But we've had a discourse about there are some of these universal values that we hold. But we're living in a very different world now. There are many challenges. And Sarita, I'd like you to share with us, you're a health professional, you know something about what's happening with Native peoples now.
Well, there's many social problems that have been ignored and need to be addressed. And just to give you an example, the Pine Ridge Reservation, it's the second largest reservation, and 50% of people over the age of 40 have diabetes.
50%?
50%. The teen suicide rate is 150 times that of the national average. In fact, January 2009, Rosebud declared a state of emergency.
Rosebud is
reservation. It's located in Mission, South Dakota.
Okay.
They had 16 young people that tried to take their lives within the span of a month. And that towards the end of 2009, December, Teresa Tubles, who is the chairwoman for Pine Ridge Reservation, she followed suit also, and they had a similar incident where they had approximately 10 to 13 youth take their lives.
Why are young people so suicidal on the reservation?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. This is generational trauma. People that have been deprived, people that have had their dignity taken from them, people that have had their land taken from them, people that signed 600 and so many treaties with the U.S. government guaranteeing that as long as the water flow and the grass is green, we will take care of you. When they said we will take care of you, it didn't mean what we thought it was. We will take care of you. People who go to bed hungry every night and sometimes don't eat for a week. People whose children are cold in the wintertime. People who can't provide for their families. This is what's the problem. This is what causes this.
But the prevailing wisdom is that the Native peoples are taken care of. They have casinos, and they're making money
That's another
with
lie
tax-free.
They're all lies. They're all lies. You have maybe 6 or 7 casinos out of all of casinos that Native America have that are making any kind of money, and they have to take care of their tribal people. Infrastructure, medical buildings, all of that. And whatever little they have left over, they try to give to other tribes. But it's not enough to go around. And then you have this government controlling them on what they can do with their money. And then they want to come in and tax. We're sovereign nations, guaranteed in the United States Constitution. Nation to nation, government to government relationships. That means that no outside government is supposed to come into our government and tell us how to run our government and tax us. And this is what's happening. This is the frustration. Our children can't see from the next day to the next day. They don't know if they're going to graduate from high school because they don't know, in some cases, if they're going to have instructors or the proper materials to go to school with.
I'm going to stop for a minute. You grew up in Arizona?
I grew up on the reservation with my grandparents.
Which reservation?
On the Denai Reservation in northern Arizona, Western Navajo Agency. And
what was it like?
It was very difficult at times, where we had to depend on very little money for a large family, and we did have sheep, and my grandfather had to he was like a farmer. He was planting corn. He had trees, but we needed money for the gas to go get water and to come back and water, and that's a very large cornfield. So we had to put water for the crops, and then there were times.
Now, we talked earlier about about the ratio of diseases and so on higher, and you're raising the issue of water.
Most of the Dene people don't have any water coming into their houses.
Why?
We've waited, my family, my grandparents have waited over 15 years to get electricity, even water, running water. And
this is in the
third world countries within this country.
Now, we talked earlier tonight about the environmental degradation.
Well, you know, brother, sitting under the reservations of North Dakota, South Dakota, all the way down to Arizona, and New Mexico and Oklahoma and part of Texas is the largest aquifer in North America, but it's contaminated. It's contaminated because companies, big corporations, have been given leases through the Bureau of Indian Affairs to go and mine uranium and coal. And they were not held in check or responsible, nor was there any quality control on what they dumped in the water, and for that reason the water is contaminated. People on Pine Ridge and Rosebud, and even down by her people, can't drink that water because it's contaminated. Uranium. How do you drink that water? When you got
Well,
men,
maybe that accounts for some of the diseases.
absolutely, men on Pine Ridge and the reservations in North and South Dakota, the average life expectancy is 46 years.
Like, we were talking earlier, you do some outreach work.
My daughter and I.
What are you doing?
Well, for the last 6 years on my radio show, I've been collecting clothes and toys and food and all of the things that people have out here that take for granted, that people out there wish they had. Food, man, food. And we fill a 53-foot tractor trailer every year, and we take it out there to those people. This is what the Great Spirit told me to do, to take care of the people. That's what we do. And we need help. We need help. I've got enough stuff now sitting in storage containers.
Now, let me give it right now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm African American. I could tell you, if you go over in Southeast
You're my relative.
Washington,
You're my relative.
if you go over in Southeast Washington, there are people who are struggling.
I could go to Pine Ridge, any of these reservations, and load up Greyhound buses and bring them out here and drop them in the worst parts of Southeast Washington, and those people would believe that they have just checked into the Ritz-Carlton. That's the comparison. This is reality in America for the American Indian.
Now, I know you're doing some relief work with Islamic Relief.
At Islamic Relief, we are working in our domestic programs, working on developing it and getting more programs. And one of the ones that we want to get to have consistently is there's a Day of Dignity already that they go out to the reservations, but we want to do something more specific, like advocacy.
What's Day of Dignity?
Day of Dignity is where the Islamic Relief goes out to over about 20 cities throughout the beginning August, and they give out food, clothes, they provide medical care, they do basic checkups for the people in the hardest ridden areas in the country. And South Ridge in the
Pine Ridge.
Fort Thompson, South Dakota is where they is going to be. This year it's going to be in June. So if anybody wants to help, we need all the organizations we can get. We need alliances, we need people, we need volunteers.
What's the
www.islamicrelief.usa.org. And we need to get everyone involved. Everyone needs to help. Whatever little you have.
We will work with you. You work with us.
We will work together with Jay Winter Nightwolf and Sister Sarita. We all need to come together on these for this cause to help the indigenous communities.
And not just that, we need doctors and dentists.
We need doctors. We need
go
dentists.
out there.
We need everyone.
Yes.
Whoever you are, we need you.
You know, we owe a debt to the Native peoples. Now, I was shocked by the percentages, 1.5%. What happened to the populations of the Native peoples? Is it you've got disease, you've got poverty?
Let me just tell you this quickly. Before the European invasions, we were okay. When the European came to this part of the world, they only brought the gun, the sword, the alcohol, diseases, greed, arrogance, the cross, and the priest. That's all they brought. And coupled with that, they brought greed and arrogance. Now, I want to clear up something real quick.
Okay.
All white people are not bad, just like all Indian people are not good, and all African American people are not good. You know, it's not about the color of your skin.
Yes, sir.
It's about what's right here.